Ladies and gentlemen, very briefly, allow me to give you the background to this event and what we hope to achieve through it. As you are aware, Prime Minister Modi visited Greece in August 2023, and Prime Minister Mitsotakis visited India in February 2024. What emerged from these two summit meetings that took place in quick succession was the decision at the prime ministerial level that there is great urgency to develop the India-Greece strategic partnership, and that this strategic partnership must be underpinned by a very strong economic relationship. One of the promising ideas for immediate economic collaboration identified by the two PMs was to rapidly put in place a mechanism that would allow all sectors of Greek industry to tap into the large pool of young, skilled manpower that is readily available in India. The Indian manpower, as you know, is reputed worldwide to be highly talented, very hardworking, very law-abiding. Greece faces a labor constraint as it grows and diversifies its economy. Indian skilled manpower is searching for high-paying jobs that are often not available in India. So as the Chinese like saying, this is a good opportunity for win-win cooperation. And here I must pause for a moment to make an important point of clarification that must be kept in mind during the course of this event. What we are discussing here today in this event on labor mobility is mobility. It is not migration, which is a completely different concept. The skilled manpower in India that seeks jobs abroad, whether in Middle East or Europe or America, is certainly not seeking to migrate out of India and to reside permanently in these countries. All they are looking for is an opportunity to work abroad, which allows them to earn higher salaries, acquire professional experience, save a lot of money, and then take it back home to buy land in their villages or invest in their families. It is this type of worker that we are referring to throughout this event when we speak of labor mobility. Now, coming back to my original briefing, in pursuance of our two prime ministers' decision to create a mechanism that would allow Greek industry to tap into the skilled manpower market in India, Government of India and the government of the Hellenic Republic have initiated discussions to work out an intergovernmental agreement. But as this is a very sensitive topic, the intergovernmental agreement will have to be detailed in a highly technical document and will naturally take some time. But the two prime ministers' mandate is very clear. There is urgency to this task. So George Soufas and I therefore concluded that it would be a good idea to organize an event like this, the one that you are attending, to introduce Greek industry to an alternative, purely private sector-driven mechanism that would enable Greek industry to tap into the Indian skilled manpower market immediately, subject to your existing domestic regulations. This alternative to a future intergovernmental agreement is to start exploring the possibility of using recruiting agencies like the firm DSS that is participating today and has provided sponsorship for this event and will describe you, hopefully with some audio visuals, how a recruiting agency provides its service to a company. The recruiting industry in India has been operating for several years now. They have been successfully supplying large number of skilled manpower from India to several countries in the Middle East and Europe for a broad range of industries, from healthcare to construction to other sectors. The only problem with the recruiting agency industry in India is that it is not sufficiently regulated. There are certainly a few very well-established, highly professional companies that have been operating in the market for several years. But there are also a large number of smaller, less reliable companies that may or may not be involved in activities that are of a legal nature. This event is aimed at informing you how to go ahead using such recruiting agencies in India for your manpower needs. It also aims to inform you about the possible pitfalls, the things to avoid, and tips to move forward. From what I have learned in my research of this industry is that it is important for companies to do a thorough research on the background of the company and the recruiting agency that they may choose to work with. Also, you must be aware that reliability comes with a higher cost. The typical sad stories that I came across is when a foreign company goes to a recruiting agency that appears less expensive, but ends up with manpower that is inadequately skilled, or worse, is simply using his foreign job as a means for illegal immigration. I hope that through the presentation by DSS, a very well-established recruitment agency from India with extensive experience in the Middle East, you will, A, learn about the recruitment agency process. B, you will get tips on how to distinguish between a good recruitment agency and an unreliable agency. And C, the typical costs that you will need to incur to keep your company's recruitment process policies safe and within the laws. I also hope that the experience of companies like Turner and Goldair, who have consented to participate in this event and who have already tested this route of recruitment agency, will also provide you with further information to make your decision. Mind you, this sort of recruitment process takes place in the framework of existing labor regulations of the Hellenic government. This event is not really about your domestic regulations. I do hope, however, that members of your Immigration Ministry, Labor and Interior Ministry who may be participating in this event will also be able to take away some useful tips when they sit down to design new generation regulation for the Greek government. I also hope that members of the business press who are present here will write about this event to inform other members of the Greek industry who are not present about this mechanism and the way to proceed forward. With that, I thank you for your attention. Thank you once again, Sufas Law and George, for your very helpful collaboration. Thank you, representatives from Goldair, Alexander, and Yak Turner, for the valuable time you're sparing for this event. Thank you very much.